Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. We record these interviews so that potential buyers can learn more about the business and the seller to help them make an informed buying decision. If you would like to learn more about this business, including details like what type of business it is, how much revenue and profit it makes, and all of the assets included with the business, simply visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business's listing number, which you can find in the video thumbnail and in the description. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. So without further ado, let's get into this interview. First up, let's learn a little bit about you. Can you tell us about your background in building and running online businesses?
Hi, thanks for your interest. I operate at the intersection of a high-end, profitable manufacturing and retail company and a legacy IP portfolio. My husband's family actually pioneered the global skateboard distribution business in the early 1970s. So I'm the steward of a 50-plus year multi-brand archive. We didn't build this business recently, and we didn't build it on Facebook ads. We've built it on 5 decades of manufacturing excellence and an authentic subculture roots. I've spent the last several years cleaning these assets, securing the trademarks, digitizing decades of original art, and stabilizing our premium US-based supply chain. This isn't just a retail play. We are an IP holding company that monetizes a massive historical vault. We've got a solid and reproducible drop model that functions more like a luxury brand or streetwear brand than a traditional sporting goods company. For a buyer, you're stepping into a frictionless, high-margin legacy that is ready to scale.
Why are you selling the business now instead of keeping it and growing it further?
Thanks for your question. After decades of growing these brands and personally stewarding this legacy over the last few years, my husband and I have reached the age where we're ready to retire from day-to-day operations. I've achieved every foundational milestone I set out to reach and that I'm personally capable of. I've built a very strong and profitable online business, secured the trademarks, digitized our 50-plus year archive, and stabilized a premium US-based supply chain. The business is in a very profitable, steady, growing state. And to truly unlock its global potential, it needs a successor with digital media and marketing know-how. My retirement focus will be on my vital role at the Skateboard Hall of Fame. I want to dedicate my energy to that nonprofit mission and to preserving the broader history of skateboard culture. We've built a frictionless legacy portfolio that is ready for a professional takeover. And I'm looking for a buyer who recognizes the massive value in this IP holding company and is ready to take this turnkey, high-margin machine to the next level.
Can you describe the amount and the type of work that you do on this business to maintain it?
Thanks for your question. One of the most attractive aspects of this business is how I have built it to be efficient. I currently maintain the operation in about 10 to 15 hours per week. My role is high-level creative curation and oversight. Specifically, I oversee the company direction, development and choice of graphics and shapes, pulling from our massive 50-year archive, and I manage our digital drops and social media engagement. Our brand has such deep organic roots, our community drives the growth. So I don't spend time on aggressive marketing or digital media. I also maintain the communication with our long-term trusted US manufacturing partners and vendors, and I manage the online store. Everything is in place and ready for a transition. The supply chain is stable, the audience is built in, the creative roadmap is set. It's a frictionless legacy model that allows an owner to focus on high-level strategy while the partners handle the day-to-day on a very manageable schedule.
So, if you were to keep this business, what are some of the ways you would try to grow it?
This is a great question and one I think about frequently. If I were 20 years younger and were to stay on and drive the next phase of growth, my focus would be on 3 high-level areas that we've already de-risked but haven't tapped. First, there's a massive opportunity to modernize our digital media and SEO strategy. Currently, our growth is almost entirely organic and community-driven. By implementing a sophisticated SEO framework and digital ad spend, we could bridge the gap between our diehard collectors and a much broader global audience. We possess a trove of artwork, images, videos, original 80s drawings, screen printing films. It's a content gold mine. It could fuel years of high engagement social media and digital storytelling. Second, large-scale influencer and brand partnerships. Our aesthetic is a perfect fit for the 80s and 90s fashion revival going on. By strategically placing our heritage IP with high-reach influencers and lifestyle brands, like following the Liquid Death model, for example, we could instantly 10x our brand visibility. And third, strategic wholesale and licensing. We currently turn down almost all retail inquiries. This way we maintain our high profit margin, but also our boutique exclusivity. But a successor could easily open the distribution tap to premium international retailers while simultaneously licensing our more aggressive, like punk rock graphics for apparel, accessories, and soft goods. It's endless. The foundation is built. A buyer simply needs to apply modern digital infrastructure to scale these proven blue sky opportunities.
Right. And what would you say are the biggest risks with this business that buyers should be aware of?
Thanks for your question. In any heritage-based business, the primary risk is brand dilution. Our customers are highly sophisticated collectors who pay a premium, frequently over $200 for a single deck, because of our commitment to quality and the use of our authentic, real 1980s graphics and manufacturing techniques. If a new owner were to sacrifice that quality by moving to cheap mass market offshore production, they would immediately alienate the core fan base that drives our high margins. The second risk is founder transition. My husband and I have been the face of these brands for years, and his father before that. Our customers know us, and they trust our curation. There's naturally some discomfort in the community when long-term stewards move on. We recognize that the emotional equity we hold is part of the brand's current value. So we're fully committed to de-risking this transition for the right buyer. For a full-price sale, we'll stay on for up to 12 months as brand ambassadors and creative consultants. This ensures a seamless passing of the torch, where we can personally introduce the new owner to our most loyal customers, our key manufacturing partners and vendors, and so on. Our goal is to ensure the brand soul remains completely intact, while the new owner focuses on scaling the digital and global infrastructure. We want this legacy to outlive us, and we're putting our time on the line to make sure that happens. And here's why this business is actually a lower risk asset than anything else in the digital space. We have an authenticity moat. A competitor could spend millions on ads over years, but they can't buy 50 years of history or replicate our original 80s art. In a world of rising ad costs and generic copycat brands and AI, our growth is organic and our IP is real. As long as the buyer respects the soul of these brands, the heritage itself acts as a permanent insurance policy on your investment.
How much support are you willing to offer the buyer who acquires this business?
Thanks for your question. I've answered this previously, but I want to reiterate that we're fully committed to de-risking this transition for the right buyer. Depending on the final sale price, we're willing to negotiate our time as brand ambassadors and creative consultants. We want to ensure a seamless passing of the torch where we can personally introduce the new owner to our most loyal customers and our key manufacturing partners and vendors. Our goal is to ensure the brand's soul remains completely intact, while the new owner focuses on scaling the digital and global infrastructure. We want this legacy to outlive us, and we're putting our time on the line to make sure that happens.
Are you open to negotiating something like an earn-out agreement?
I'm looking for a straightforward asset purchase that reflects the 5 decades of history, goodwill, trademarks, and the massive archive we've meticulously preserved. This is a high-value, de-risked IP portfolio, and the current valuation is firmly grounded in that unreproducible history. With that said, I'm open to a creative deal structure for the right strategic partner. I'm confident in the growth potential of these brands, and I want to align our interests with a successor who is committed to taking this untapped potential to the next level.
Okay, final question. If you had to put yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why is your business a business worth buying?
Well, this is obviously the most important question. And if I were sitting on the other side of the table, I would see this as a rare, defensible monopoly on a specific and highly lucrative era of American culture. In today's e-commerce landscape, anyone can launch a brand, but no one can just buy 50 years of actual authentic history. You're purchasing a frictionless, high-margin machine with zero customer acquisition costs and a literal moat that is impossible to replicate. You will own the master tapes, the original 80s art, the screen printing films, the trademarks, the manufacturing specs, the relationships. But beyond the assets, you're buying predictability. This isn't a speculative startup. It is a proven legacy of 50 years with a ravenous global following. We sell out products before they even launch. It's a trophy asset that is currently a high-yield lifestyle business, but it's also a coiled spring, ready for a professional to scale it into a global lifestyle powerhouse. For $1.1 million, you aren't just buying a company. You're becoming the next custodian of a legendary American brand portfolio that is only going to increase in value as the heritage market continues to explode.
All right, everyone, thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this business is still for sale, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business listing number, which you can find in the video thumbnail and description. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you'll find everything you need to know about this business. So, thanks for joining us. See you next time.